Hi guys, it's Kian. So today I want to talk to you guys about twins in the BJD hobby, and also I guess more generally maybe just having duplicates, more than one of the same sculpt in the doll hobby. So today I have gathered my dolls that are twins and used to be twin, and we're gonna talk about it. So I'm gonna start with Sion here. Sion is a Migidoll Mihos. And I used to have two of this Migidoll Mihos head, and I've since sold one of them. It's been quite a few years. So that was my first set of twins. This is Sion, his twin was Hugh. And when I first had them, they had very similar bodies as well. So currently, Sion is on the Vox SD17 body. He used to be on a Little Monica Harmony, meaning the 63 cm size body. I think he was on the A body and then his brother was on the B body. The main difference is just he had a 3-part torso, his brother had a 2-part torso. Very similar in terms of looks, but there is a reason why I only have one Migidoll Mihos now instead of two, which I'll talk a bit about in a while. I'm gonna introduce these two guys first. So this is, well, the two of them. This is Pepper, this is Tones. And if the name is not obvious, it comes together to form Pepper Tones, which is a band I like. Anyway, so they are both Switch Ryuzos, but this is a Switch Ryuzo in Mocha Brown and Tones is a Switch Ryuzo in Milk Tea Rose. I don't know why he looks so dark. I'm not casting any shadows on him. Anyway, Pepper has a face up by so this is one of the limited release or like one of those event release, I forgot, but I got him secondhand because I really like the face up. Well, I really like the face up with the mocha brown skin tone. And Tones has a face up that's done by me. And the funny thing is, so I always like the Ryuzo sculpt, the Switch Ryuzo sculpt. So they actually were bought very close together. So I bought Tones first when Switch kind of, I think it was the first time they released him in Milk Tea Rose, which is the skin tone that he's on. It's a bit pinker and slightly tanner than their regular powder beige. So I ordered him, and then very shortly after, a friend helped me find this mocha brown Ryuzo for sale, and so I bought him. So he came to me first because he was secondhand, and then after that, Switch had their production period, which took a while, and then after that, Tones arrived to me. So that was how I ended up with two Switch Ryuzos. Actually, during the period I was going to buy them, I was only interested in getting one of them, but it just so happened that in order not to miss the order period, I ordered the Milk Tea Rose one first, and then I found the mocha brown, and then I just somehow ended up with two. Yeah, so I ended up with two Ryuzos, which is, I guess, okay. I mean, I have quite a few Switch sculpts. I have like maybe 5. I have 5 Switch heads, but this, yeah, I don't know. I like Ryuzo. Sometimes even when I see the Ryuzo Persona head, which is Ryuzo but with like, I don't know, like dreaming eyes, yeah, I sometimes feel like I kind of want to buy it, but like I know I have enough Ryuzo, so I don't. But so that's the story of how this two came about and why I have twins. But for Sion, it was actually a bit more intentional. So this was Sion I got in about like 2012. Yeah, 2012. And then this was closer to like 2019, 2020. So twins were a very popular thing. I'm sure you know, in the hobby, there are a lot of people who have twins. They just look cool, like aesthetically. It's cool to have two dolls, especially if you dress them up in like contrasting colors, like maybe black and white, and stuff like that. So that was really what I was going for, like in terms of looks wise, when I had the Migidoll Mihos. So The thing with Migidoll Miho is, I guess, the thing that I really, really like about him is the eye shape. Um, I really like this, I don't know, like starey, angry-ish looking face. But actually, if you see his blank scalp, is kind of a bit more. It's not so angry. Like if you change the brow shape, he can actually be kind of pensive, a bit melancholic. I think the thing that doesn't change is that he's actually blank, quite a melancholic scalp, I would say. Like there's a sadness in the expression, if that makes sense. But the thing that I really, really like about the Miho scalp is, well, I mean, I like the nose, I like the lips, but the thing that I super like is the eye shape. And so, um, I do still really like this scalp. I really like Sion as a doll. I'm very biased in that way. But like the the weird thing is when I had two of them, when I had Hugh and Sion, I never really found anything to do with Hugh that I wasn't already interested to make on Sion. Like let's say I want to draw his face up a certain way. I would do that on Sion, and then on Hugh I'll be like, what do I do with this guy? And then so it always felt like he was just this extra doll that I had because I really wanted Sion and I liked the look of having two of the same doll, but I never really knew what to do with the second doll. And that's why I eventually sold Hugh, because it felt like I only ever really want to do stuff with this character. Like I only ever really want to like make him look angrier, buy him new eyes, buy him new wigs, dress him up, take photos of him, and then Hugh was always just kind of like, I guess he's his brother, I should give him some camera time. So that was like I felt like I didn't really need to, like I took a bunch of twin pictures with them, and then like after that I was like, I mean I kind of fulfilled whatever I wanted out of it, so I sold the other Migidoll head. And so sometimes I still look at Sion, my beloved, and think, do I want to ever like resuscitate his brother? The closest I've came to, well, there's two cases. So like I don't think I would ever buy another Migidoll Miho, like just a regular Miho head again, because I tried that once, didn't really work. I think even getting it in a different skin tone, like either white skin or tan, will probably not super help. I think tan may work. So kind of like this situation of like two different skin tones. But I think the thing that works for these two guys is that I did this face up, but I did not do this face up. So it's like I enjoy the sculpt, and then I can see how somebody else has done up this face, and then how I would do the face, and how that's kind of different and therefore interesting. But with Miho, I always did both of their face ups, and I think that was maybe part of the reason why I didn't really enjoy duplicates, because it's just like I didn't I can't really, well, I not that I can't really make them similar. I couldn't really make them similar for technical and skills reason. Because my face up skills are not that great. But I also didn't really want them to be that different. I mean, no, I didn't want them to be that alike, because I did not want two of Sion. I wanted Sion and his brother, if that makes sense. So long after I've sold Hugh, I have contemplated whether I wanted to get another like Migidoll something head to give him his brother back. So the closest I've came to is either a vampire Miho head, which I do like in and of itself, or a Migidoll Shiho head. So I think Shiho is the closest looking sculpt to Miho without looking exactly the same. Um, The eye shape is not the same, but I think it's slightly smaller. But I think it has enough of that stariness that I think works very well in Miho, that I think I would enjoy in the Shiho sculpt. But I don't really like how the nose is a bit like chonky for Shiho compared to Miho. Like, it's not that I don't have dolls with chonky noses, but it's just that I think Miho has a much slimmer like nose bridge. and Shiho has one that's like much chunkier and like they don't really look like twins anymore. I guess they can still be brothers or they can be fraternal twins, but it's kind of like I don't really know whether that makes sense. And then I do quite like how the Shiho sculpt has a slight like open mouth so you can see teeth, but like again overall kind of looks similar to Miho but not twins. Then Vampire Miho is interesting because I always like that sculpt. It's just that I think, like I said, the best part of this sculpt that I like is the eye shape. And so Vampire Miho kind of um doesn't have that because it's like sleeping eye or dreaming eye. So it's like softened and like lowered lids, and so it doesn't really have that stariness for the eyes. And the other thing is that I do enjoy the elf ears on the Vampire Miho, but it doesn't fit the character for Hugh. Like there is no explanation why Hugh would have that. Like between the two brothers, Hugh and Sion. If anything, Sion would be the one who is more likely to get like I don't know, like plastic surgery to have elf ears, although he doesn't really. But like they are not supernatural beings, and there's no reason to explain why they have elf ears. And I'm also not gonna like buy a Vampire Miho and send down the ears because I feel like that's a waste. Like that is a part of the sculpt that I like. It's just that it doesn't suit the doll. So anyway, that's a very long explanation for why Sion is just like now a singular doll without his twin. Um and and for all the reasons I explained why I don't really want another of the Miho sculpt, I think it's interesting because I've managed to keep two of the Ryuzo sculpt. And I really, really think it's just because this guy has a face up by another artist that I really enjoy. And also I think there is sufficient interest in that they have different skin tones. And also I think like just the way I decided to do Tone's face up is very different to the vibe of Pepper. Like yes, they're the same sculpt, but I don't think they look super similar necessarily. I always feel like he looks a bit more I don't know, like less dressed up, if that makes sense, and he always looks a bit more dressed up. I know it's not helping with the clothes that he currently has. I will take more clips to show you their clothes because I'm actually quite proud of what he's wearing. But you can't see it. But yeah, like I think the reason why I managed to keep both of them is because of the difference in face ups. But I do also at one point in time considered selling like either one of them to just have one because I was like, you know, like it happened with the Miho sculpt. Like, do I really need two Ryuzos? And would I rather like only just have one and use that money to buy like I don't know another doll or something? But I think I've kind of now reached a point where I'm like, no, actually I quite enjoy having um two of them because one of them I didn't do the face up of and one of them I did the face up of. So I get to know the sculpt, but I also get to see how somebody else interpreted the sculpt. And so I guess if you ask the question, if somebody else painted a different Miho, whether I would be more interested by it, actually I think the answer is yes, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon because it's not a sculpt that's being produced anymore. But also like usually other people's face ups are a bit more like I don't know, like fancier than what I would do. And it comes back to the problem of Hugh is not a fancy guy. So I also don't really know whether that will work, but hypothetically maybe. So yeah, so I think for Peppers and Tones, it's interesting because I think of them as individual characters and a bit less about the fact that they are twins. Like I think the fact that they are twins is just kind of like, oh, it so happened that I wanted a Ryuzo and then I bought one and then I bought another one because I liked the mocha skin tone more. But then I was like, since I already ordered the milk tea one, I would paint him because I want to see how that sculpt looks like in 3D. In like I feel like I get to learn more about the sculpt when I do face ups than if I just look at the sculpt one and like photograph them or something. yeah, and then like after I painted him, I was like gonna keep him around for a while, and then a while just became like all the time till now. And so I think like that's kind of my experience with BJD twins. And so to the more general question, I think is then whether I enjoy having duplicates of the same sculpt. And I think with the exception of the Ryuzos, I don't currently own duplicates of the same head sculpt. So everybody else is a different head sculpt. And I think that's just a thing that I found out about my own doll collecting preference after a long time. I don't really see a point in having duplicate sculpts. There are some people who enjoy having, let's say, like a character with multiple heads so they can have like different expressions, but I'm not somebody who enjoys that. Like, it's kind of cumbersome to me. I don't really like switching out their heads. And then usually for a character, they have like a fixed set of eyes, and I don't really enjoy buying like multiples of the same eyes just so the same doll can have different faces, or like switching out the same eyes into the spare expression faces so that they can have different faces. I don't know, like it's just very troublesome to me and I don't like it. So all my characters only have one head sculpt. But I would say actually even for bodies, I generally avoid having duplicates as far as possible. I do have duplicate bodies. So the Vox SD17 body, I have two of them. Sion has one. Danny, my Vox Olivia, is on the other one. The one that I have the most is the Switch 65 Attractive 65 body? Switch Attractive 65 body, yeah. So obviously these two have the Attractive 65 body. My Wason has it as well. And wait, no, I don't have 5 Switch sculpts. I only have 4. Yeah, I only have 4, so that was a mistake from earlier. So because I already have like 1, 2, and then Elfie, my Wason. So 3 of them have the Switch Attractive 65 body. When I got my 4th Switch head, which is Switch Sohua, which is Salt. Salt has, if you watch the video where I hybridize him, he has the Ipo House SID body, because I was just like, I don't want another of the same body. I'm like 3 of the same body is already like a lot, and I guess it's only sort of justified because they're all different skin tones. So Elfie is powder beige, he is milk tea rose, and this is mocha brown. And if they were not the same skin tone, I'll be like, eh. I mean, for the Vox one, they are both the same skin tone, which is normal skin. And my only justification for that is just that, like, I just like the look of the body, and it was too troublesome to find a different body that matched the look of what I wanted. Generally speaking, I don't like duplicates because I feel like I only have so much money to spend in doll hobby, and I only have so much space and so much time and energy to do doll stuff. So when I do have the resources, whether the time, the money, or whatever, to do anything with my dolls, I kind of want it to all be different so that I get to play with the most like the most diverse possible set of things that I can comfortably enjoy. And the reason why I say that is because, as I've already said, I don't like having the same character having multiple hits. So I know where my limit is, and I know within that limit, I kind of just want to play with as many different doll types as I can. Yeah. So I think that is what I figured out about my own doll collecting tendencies in terms of having twins or having duplicates of anything. But I'm sure that's not everybody's attitude. I don't think that's how everybody approaches twins and duplicates in hobby. I know there are people who would have no issues having multiples of the same head, expression heads, or even the same head but like different bodies. same head but different characters. I know I used to follow. I used to look at the photos of, I think, Vampire Angel 13, I believe that might be their username. But they had a lot of Dormo Kara Klum, and I really enjoyed seeing how they collected like so many different Kara Klums and how they were all the same character, but they were just like slightly different. I think there was one that was blonde. There was a few that had distinct, like I think was it green or purple or green and purple wig, and then yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fun to see other people collecting duplicates. I just don't super fancy it myself, except in rare instances. And I think that's also why when I was considering whether Sion would ever get back his brother, that his brother would not be the same sculpt, that it would either be at the minimum Miho but in a different skin tone, or even just another Migidoll but not Miho sculpt. Yeah, so that's how I approach having duplicates in the hobby. Let me know whether you have any duplicates or twins in your collection and what you think about that. I'm also going to show you their clothes because I really enjoyed how he looks. I was going to dress tones in the same shirt because I have this white Switch Somnia shirt. I have it in green as well. I was going to dress him in it, but I was just like, yeah, it's not his vibe, so it's fine. He's just wearing the same stuff as before. So that's all for today's chit chat, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.